Let's talk sports. Another episode. Listen, we're starting a series with um, an NFL training camp, and we're starting with the NFC East. So we got a good show tonight because tonight we're going to be talking about the Dallas Cowboys and what we think that the Dallas Cowboys are going to do this year from training camp. Most of you guys don't understand that training camp is when it really starts, other than the draft. But before I get off into all that, and we got a good guest tonight too. We got a guest that we're gonna bring on the show that's a Dallas fan. But before I get off into that, what I want to do is I want to talk about something that's near and dear to my heart, and that's hard work. A lot of people don't really understand that hard work plays a part in anything you do. If you're not going to work hard at what you're going to do and make it the best that you possibly can be, then what you're doing it for? I mean, I know there's a lot of people out there that work for someone, but even if you work for someone, if why wouldn't you work hard at what you do? I mean, Lil Wayne, who I listen to off his music, because I'm not really a fan of his music. I'm just a fan of how he thinks. And one of the things he said is it's 10,000 hours make you good at something. So if you've been on your job for 10, 15 years, you should be really, really good at it. If you have a business that you've been doing for over 10 years, you should be really, really good at it. And I think that America it's lacking hard work. Now, there is a such thing called hard work and working smart, but both you need both. If you're not going to work hard at something, like just for today, and I'll tell you this real quick, just today, all the things that I had to do today, I'm sitting up here right now at 7 o'clock, and I've gotten so much done, and I still feel like I didn't work hard today, but I did. But by my standards, I didn't. So I'm just tired of the whining about people saying they're not making enough money, or they don't have this, or they don't have that. Nothing is going to come to you. Nobody's going to hand you jack. You got to go get it, and you got to work hard, create a plan, and go after that plan. That's just me being the coach that I am. I know y'all probably bored with it, but that's just who I am. Sorry if it offended anybody, but you got to work your butt off at anything that you do. And with that being said, let's talk sports. So check this out. I'm about to bring my boy Rod. Rod, come on the scene, man. Come out here and talk to these people.
What's
Listen,
going on, Rich? How you doing tonight, brother? How's
bro,
everything?
I I've been working my butt off today. That's the truth.
That's a
Trying to
good thing.
piece.
Hard work pays off, Rich. We love it.
I mean, just piecing everything together, pacing everything together. You know what? I gotta say this, Rob, before we start the show. Now that I got you on here, man, ain't nobody on this show, Rich. Please stop trying to scam me. Please stop trying to put put me in some kind of trick bag, sending me all this government funding and this, and that. It ain't gonna work. I'm just gonna delete you. I mean, I'm just gonna delete you. I don't know if you get that, Rod. Do you get that sometimes?
I get a million phone calls a day. I have no idea why someone thinks I have money.
Right. I mean, like, for the record, anybody who watching this show, we do not have money. Oh, and another thing, I don't know if you get this. I show my wife all the time. All these little young girls hit me up. Hey, you need a friend? It ain't happening, y'all. I mean, I'm gonna be
Well, I,
honest with you, Rod. That wasn't happening even before I was married and when I was younger. I find that to be unattractive.
I have a
Like,
little too much gray hair for that to be happening for me right now around the chin. So I don't get all those calls like you, Rich.
Rod, now I see why my wife be saying, let your facial hair grow out because
Yeah,
it'll be all gray.
that's what my wife told me. Yeah, let your hair grow out so you can look like you're 75.
Ain't nobody coming at you when you're like 75
Exactly.
years
That's what
old.
nobody love you but
That,
me, baby.
that's crazy. But listen, before we bring our guests on, we got to talk about this. Last night we had our production meeting, and it's a lot of things were said about the Dallas Cowboys. So for all you Dallas fans out there, the ones, especially the ones that we're bringing on the show, and I'm pretty sure that the people that we're bringing on the show know what they're talking about, and they're not Dallas fanatics. look, man, we do this for fun. Now we know what we're talking about, but we still do it for fun. And with that being said, last night at the production meeting, I mean, we were kind of beating up on our guest about some of the things he was saying about the Dallas Cowboys. And the biggest thing that people need to understand, and I said it in one of my reels earlier this week, if you're going to trash talk with us about the Dallas Cowboys, you have to take in consideration that if somebody was 10 years old in 1995, they're 49. You guys have not been past the divisionals since that moment. But I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna go back in the past before we start talking about the present. Rod, do you remember the last time the Dallas Cowboys played in the Super Bowl, who they played, and how that person won? Do you remember that? How did Dallas win? I'm sorry. Do you remember that?
I know it was what 1972, I believe.
No, it wasn't, dude. It was 1995.
Oh, okay, my bad. So was it the Pittsburgh Steelers?
Pittsburgh Steelers. That's correct.
And was Neil O'Donnell the quarterback of the Pittsburgh
Neil
Steelers?
O'Donnell was the quarterback.
And did he make Larry Brown the MVP all by himself?
So let me ask you a question. Was Larry Brown the MVP of that game?
He was. He got paid.
I think because I was talking to Ryan and we couldn't remember who was MVP. Larry Brown really was the MVP.
Brown was the MVP of that game, and Neil O'Donnell personally made him so. I think he voted for him. Now,
well, okay. So, do you? I got one for you. I got one for you because it's gonna blow your mind. Do you remember who was the offense coordinator for the Pittsburgh Steelers at that time?
Was it Bruce Arians?
Yes, it was. Dude, listen. Would you please tell me why Bruce Arians was throwing that football?
Well, actually, he wasn't throwing the football. It was Neil O'Donnell.
Well, why was he calling a pass play? Let me put it that way. Big Bam, fresh out of jail. Bam, fresh out of jail, blowing people up on it. I mean, this is like a big locomotive. They wanted nothing to do with him.
Bruce Arians is a guy who likes to air it out. He's always been that way.
Bruh, let me tell you something. I think it was Bruce Arians as the offense coordinator. And I think Dick LeBeau was the defensive coordinator.
For sure, he was the defensive coordinator.
And I'm sitting up there saying to myself, because it was really hurting my heart about, I'm not going to sit and say I was totally disappointed that Dallas won, because I wasn't really a Pittsburgh fan or a Dallas fan. But if it came down to it, I wanted Pittsburgh to beat Dallas. But I'm thinking about how good Dick LeBeau, the game that Dick LeBeau called was on point. In other words, that year, the Dallas Cowboys had one of the best offenses in the game. And Dick LeBeau had them on their heels.
Yeah.
I cannot understand for the life of me, Rod, why he threw that ball. I just don't get it. I'm sorry, why with Bruce Arians? So even the last Super Bowl, Rod, I don't really count it. Pittsburgh just gave him the game. They gave him the freaking game. I mean,
that was their main rival. That's their biggest rival. So, I guess that did count for something.
You know, another thing I thought about? If you go back and watch NFL films, you probably seen it, because I know how much you love football. If you go back and watch NFL films, Michael Irvin is on the sideline, and Pittsburgh just picked up another first down. They're sucking the clock up. Michael Irvin loses it right there on the sideline. I mean, just lose it. Like, come on, man, damn. I was like, he was freaking because he could see the game slipping away.
Right.
Every time I think about that, my stomach hurt. I mean, because you got to remember, I've been disliking the Dallas Cowboys for a long time. And when I watch that game, I'm watching that game with Dallas Cowboy fans.
Right.
As a matter of fact, I'm the only person in the house that did not like Dallas. Now you know how that game started off with Deion Sanders catching the touchdown on the slant pattern and this, and that. You
Mm-hmm.
remember Dallas was dominating that game.
Right.
And then Pittsburgh just started coming back.
He
Dude,
came
it
back
was
on him.
disgusting. I had them people. I know for a fact that two people was watching the game when we were crying. They were crying because it was slipping away. I mean, they couldn't do nothing about Bam. And then they just threw that interception to Larry Brown. And I would just remember my whole body language just went straight to, oh.
Yeah.
And
That
Larry
did do it.
Brown signed a huge contract after that.
He got paid, Rich. The whole Brown family is living in that legacy right now.
It was the Raiders, right? The Raiders gave him all that money.
Man, yeah, he got paid. He got paid like he was really good, and he really wasn't.
They freaking torched Larry Brown in the AFC West. He was burnt toast.
Big up to his agent. We just say big up to his agent.
Big up to his agent. Now, I'm gonna be honest. That was the best agent. I bet you it was Drew Rosenhaus.
I wouldn't doubt it.
So for all you Dallas fans out there, we just relived your last moment as a champion.
Yeah, and you had to be like 50 plus to even know about it. So all you guys out there who 30 years old, we're talking about ancient history to you.
Wait a minute. And I said, because we're waiting on our guest, guys. So we just playing around here before we really get deep there, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Here's what's funny. You know, when you're arguing with a Dallas Cowboy, especially a fanatic, somewhere along the lines, they're going to come up with these championships that they won.
Right.
So I want to do this with you, Rob, because I know you and I are a little bit older than them, so we remember a lot of these Super Bowls, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when you think about it, if I'm not mistaken, Starback took the job from Craig Morton.
Mm-hmm.
If I got it right?
Yep.
So I know they beat the Miami Dolphins in the Super Bowl. I know that was one of them. I know Denver was one of them. That was the Orange Crush, right? See, here's the problem that I'm having right now. Now we're not talking about the 90s. I'm pretty sure they won 3 in the 90s. Was it 3?
Yeah.
They beat Buffalo.
Twice to Buffalo.
Twice to Buffalo.
Back to back.
Back to back to Buffalo. But who else did they beat in the 90s? Pittsburgh. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So they beat Pittsburgh, Buffalo twice, Miami. Give me that fifth one. Who was that fifth? Because see, I'm trying to show Dallas fans
Denver.
Denver. Okay, so it's Denver, Pittsburgh, Buffalo twice, Miami. And I know for a fact that most Dallas fans, especially the ones that talk the most noise, was not even, if they were born, they were babies when they beat Denver. Because they beat Denver in 77. So I think it's a 77 Super Bowl. I'm almost positive because they lost in the 76 Super Bowl to the Pittsburgh in Super Bowl 13. Mm-hmm. So 77. So that would make you have to be born in 67 to be 10. So none of these people talking all this noise was not even born when they won that championship. So you know they weren't born when they beat Miami. So they have no clue who was even playing for the Dallas Cowboys.
No.
If you ask them right now, I guarantee you, if you ask 60% of Dallas fans, video call, if you have 60% of Dallas fans, right, who was the freaking running back for the Denver Broncos Super Bowl? They wouldn't know. They wouldn't know who was Dallas' third down person. They'll probably say Drew Pearson when you and I both know it was Preston Pearson. Mm-hmm. They know nothing about the Dallas Cowboys of the past, but they tout 5 championships. You think that's fair?
I mean,
I don't think that's fair.
Let them have their credit, man, because it's been so long since they had one. They got to go back on something. Now, if you tell them, hey, let's start in this millennium and count everything in this millennium, now that's a whole different story.
Hey, Rod, your volume has went down or something. What happened to your volume? Check your volume. Huh? You can't hear. Yeah, me and you, we haven't. Me and Rashard both can't hardly hear you no more.
Yeah, can you hear me? I'm good.
So Rashard says he can hear you fine. Hold on just a sec. Hold on. Everybody just hold on for a second. But that's okay. We can hear you. Can you hear him, Rod? Everybody good. Rod, say something to me.
What's going on, Rich?
All right. JJ, say something to me. All right. So check this out. Y'all check this out, right? This is JJ. JJ is a Dallas fan. Me and him hooked up through social media. He's a podcaster just like we are. And he's a huge Dallas Cowboy fan. And what we're gonna do is tonight is we're gonna ask him some questions and we're gonna get his point of view. And we're gonna see how his point of view fits into what we're thinking. So with that being said, we're gonna start with this. What's up, man? You ready to go? Let's get him on the screen. Huh? That's better. Okay, we ready to go now. Yeah. All right, so check this out. JJ, you ready to go?
Ready to go, man.
We about to ask you some questions. Okay. So number one question that we're gonna ask you is as a fan, as a Dallas Cowboy fan, tell us why you believe that the Dallas Cowboys will get past the divisionals this year.
All right, as a fan, I look at the you always gotta go back to the previous years or whatever. Let's go back to post Dak after his injury with his ankle. The first year we got to the wild card round. We lost to the 49ers, but last year we came back. We beat the GOAT at the GOAT. That's Tom Brady and Buccaneers. And I feel like this year, the third year, as post Dak and his injury, that we'll get to the next level. At least get to that divisional round. Well, to that wild card in the championship round, MC championship. So that'll be the next level.
Say, wait a minute, say that last part again.
Like I said, by us going from a wild card in 2021, we went to the divisional this past season, and this year it's the NFC championship. So that's my little faith going forward. that we're gonna keep escalating, going up the ladder. Like I said, we can't go backwards. We're gonna go forward.
But basically, I think Richie said if they took the San Francisco 49ers out of the league, the Cowboys would have a chance. I think that's what he said.
We ain't worried about the 49ers.
Okay,
We ain't
so let
worried
me
about.
ask you this. Let me ask you this. I hear your logic, but what's different?
What's the same? What's the same is what's different? Oh, you say what's different? Okay, what's different? We got a whole new coaching staff. Pretty much 80-90% of the coaching staff is fresh and new guys with experience. And Also we got our offensive line coming back. That's our foundation of our team. We know Tyron Smith was kind of on his last leg, but you got guys like Zach Martin, you know what I'm saying, multiple Pro Bowlers, you know what I mean? He's been in the league probably 19 years. Like I said, we're leaning on it. We're leaning on our other tackle, the other Smith, you know what I mean? We drafted a few linemen, so I'm looking at that as our foundation and something to look forward for 2023. We got Dak Prescott. I said Dak Prescott is one of the top quarterbacks in the league. Like I said, arguably, you know what I'm saying? We're talking about from a talent standpoint.
Arguably, yes.
Arguably, I think he gets a little anxiety at times when it really counts. So I think big time players for to make big time plays and play big in big games. But Dak Prescott and the whole team, the Cowboys, see how to do that when it really counts. But I'm just leaning on our foundation. I feel like we'll be okay. I'm not really happy with the running back situation right now. I'm not relying on a guy like Tony Pollard. I like Tony Pollard, but I don't think he's not a bruiser. He's a sprinter. So I'm not relying on him to give us 20, 25 carries a game and go through all that pounding. Let's say he's more of a combo back. We need a pound and ground guy. We need a Jerome Bennett type of Mike Allstar type of guy. You know what I'm saying? We need that on our squad. We got the rookie Vaughn. You know what I mean? Deuce Vaughn, the coach's kid. He's gonna be good, but like I say, I don't think he's the guy. We need something else on the offensive side of the ball to do it at the running back position. I believe that. I'm not comfortable with that.
Rod, you want to take that one?
I just want to understand, how do you rank your defense this year in comparison with the rest of the division and with the Philadelphia Eagles in particular? How do you match up your defense?
So the NFC champions Eagles. Talk about the Eagles.
Yeah,
The one that we beat. The one that we beat on
the champions. Yeah. The Eagles, who's gonna be the NFC champions this year. That's what I'm talking about.
Okay. All right. Well, I said all respect to the Eagles, man. That's a great team, great organization, great coaches, great players. But my Cowboys, I think we're gonna be ready, man. Like I said, you got guys like Michael Parsons that's kind of spearheading our defense, and you got we signed Gilmore. We got Diggs over there balling out. You know what I'm saying? Donovan Wilson is gonna be a key for us this year. We signed him back. That's gonna be real major. Our first round pick, Smith, I think he's gonna come in and help us out, man. We're gonna be okay on defense, like I said. So for his ranking, I would rank us 1 or 2 in our division. Like I said, our division is tough. I said, respect to the Commanders. The Commanders always be tough, man. They're gonna be okay. So if we come in at number 2 in our rankings in our division, that's great for us because our offense is gonna hold it down. I believe our offense is gonna hold it down. We got to figure it out. We might not figure it out until game 5. I don't know. We'll figure it out. If they got it's business. It's a business, but it's sports at the same time. So they got to figure it out. So we got to go with the flow with that. But there's no way I'm not bringing Ezekiel Elliott to camp. There's no way he's not coming in there. That's just how I see it. But we need somebody of his caliber. But like I said, not only him, we need somebody else. We need somebody to come in there and compete. For that position. Like I said, we signed another guy. I can't think of his name right now. He come for the Buccaneers, and I don't know if he's it. And like I said, Pollard to me is more. Yeah, I think that's it. Like I said, I don't know if he's the guy, but like I said, there's no way I'm not having 5 or 6 running backs in camp. No way. They got to be loaded on position.
Okay, here's my thoughts. I understand your logic. I mean, I respect that. I'm not gonna sit here and trash what you're saying, because that's just not the way I do things. But what I am going to say is, I'm going to give you a scenario about what I feel about the Dallas Cowboys. The Dallas Cowboys will lean more on their defense this year than ever before. And the reason why I say that is because you can see it in the draft. You can see what Dallas was trying to do in the draft. They're trying to get a Baltimore Ravens type defense in 2001 when they just like, I'm not letting you do anything, right? And I hear you on your offensive line. But if you put together the best team possible for the Dallas Cowboys, Mike McCarthy is still calling plays. Now, and nobody has actually came out and wrote this down and said it, but just from what I've seen, the reason he was ran out of Green Bay was because of his play calling. That was a big part of it. Okay. So you really believe, I try to tell Dallas fans this every year, you really believe that you're going to smash mouth your way to the NFC Championship. And the reason I say that is, and I made a video about it last season saying these exact same words, you need an elite quarterback to go and win a Super Bowl. Without an elite quarterback, if you think you're going to, now, the NFC is not really that deep. So you're going to make the playoffs. But once you get in the playoff, if you think you're going to smash mouth your way to the Super Bowl, good luck with that, JJ. Good luck with that, because I'm telling you right now, yes, you beat the Eagles last year in AT&T Stadium. Let me explain something to y'all about that game. Gardner Minshew was the quarterback, and he still scored 30. I'm just saying. And I know Dak wasn't there in Philadelphia in the first time that y'all played. I know that. I understand that. But what I'm saying is when Dak wasn't there, you barely could score 20. But when Jalen wasn't there, he still dropped 30. Now, what that tells me is that the Philadelphia offense is elite. Because that defense you guys got is the real deal. And they dropped 30 on you in your own hometown. This is why I say your logic in 1977, your logic was good. But right now, you better be able to score some freaking points. Because if you can't score 30 against the Philadelphia Eagles, you're not winning. It's just that simple. They're that good.
It's one word: consistency. That's what we lacking. So we know we can put up the points. We know Dak Prescott is one of the elite quarterbacks. I mean, what do you consider elite? Top 8?
Elite. Okay. Well, okay. Rod, hold on, Rod. You want to tell him what elite is? You want to name like 3 elite quarterbacks for him so he can understand?
Man, look.
And just for the sake of you being a good guy and coming on the show, I'll throw Josh Allen in there. Okay, so
I love
these are elite quarterbacks. When I'm saying elite, man, I'm talking about nothing else is working. Your running game ain't working. They putting pressure on the quarterback. Everything is a rush, and the quarterback himself say, you know what? I got this. I'm gonna do this on my own. That's elite. Now let me ask you a question. I'm gonna ask you this question, JJ. When is the last time you seen Dak Prescott do that against a playoff contender? Because he did it on the Houston Texans, but I'm sorry, they're not a playoff contender. I'm talking about a contender. When the last time you seen Dak do that?
Well, I think he played lights out against the Buccaneers in a wild card this past year. I think he played good then. I think on that night he was definitely.
Go ahead.
Say that again. I missed that.
I'm sorry. I'm not counting the Tampa Bay Buccaneers for the simple reason they was in the NFC South, and the NFC South last year was horrible. And I'm talking about horrible.
They were like sub 500.
I'm talking about every single team.
They were a sub 500
I don't care if Tom Brady. Did you hear his name? Tom Brady as an elite quarterback. He's about 80 years old. I mean, it's not. He's there. Don't get me wrong. He's gonna go down in history as one of the best to ever do it, but not when he's 80. I'm sorry. Tom Brady looked like he needed crutches that night. I mean, it looked bad. I mean,
all I know is Dak Prescott is a top 10 quarterback in the NFL, and he has been there probably for a majority of his career.
He's top 10 in NFC?
What stats?
No, NFL stats,
NFC
record. Actually, you know what I'm saying? If you want to go by that, Cause see, these guys that only did it for 3 or 4 years, they still got something to prove. Joe Burrow still what a Joe Burrow
What has
take a
Dak proven?
hold on. What has he
But he can
proven?
get paid. All he can prove it is he know how to get paid. What else has he
He's
proven?
And he a good politician.
he's proven to out of probably the 7 years he's been a starter, he's been to the playoffs at least 4 times.
And
You
how
know what I'm
many
saying?
games he won?
He only won 2. He only won 2 right now.
How many games
So
Joe Burrow has won?
I'm pretty sure it's more than 2.
I'm
Probably
pretty
double
sure it
that.
is too.
Probably at least double that. At the very least, double that. So all I know
Okay.
is
Last night, Raw, we asked him this question, so let's do it again. If you had to choose between Joe Burrow and Dak Prescott, who you choose?
Dak Prescott. No doubt about it. No doubt about
No
it. No,
doubt about it.
like I said, Dak ability is. I'm talking about when he's on. He's probably a top 5 quarterback when he's on. When he,
You
you know what I'm
know,
saying, when he's in that zone. But
that
like I
scouting
said,
ability will not even get you in the XFL, bro. I'm just saying.
no, he'll be a 5-time XFL champion if he's in XFL. 5 times.
Okay, JJ, let me set you. Let me set you, all right? I watched the Kansas City Chiefs last year beat Joe Burrow behind. Like, I mean, they were stacking this dude, hitting this dude, knocking this dude down, just beating the crap out of it. Joe Burrow was still throwing strikes. I mean, like, he was never rattled. I have watched Dak Prescott against teams like the Commanders, the Texans, rattle him. I'm talking, you can obviously see rattled when he's throwing the ball. I know those games years ago against the 49ers in AT&T Stadium. I watched video, I watched film on this, watching Dak Prescott looking before he throws. In other words, you snap it and you look and see who's coming first before you step back and throw the rock. Brother, that is not elite. That's not elite. That's you got more. Look, you can get behind that center and not show fear. I don't care if you've been sacked 15 times. If you're an elite quarterback, when you step back to throw the ball, look, I watched Joe Burrow throw a freaking dime last year after Kansas City, beating the crap out of him. Just drop back and throw a dime. I saw Justin Herbert get crushed, just come back and throw a complete dime against Kansas City. I have seen some elite quarterbacks, and I'm gonna be honest. Now don't get me wrong. I seen Dak Prescott play that kind of game in his first year as a starter against the Green Bay Packers in AT&T Stadium. One of the best games I ever seen him play. Matter of fact, I think he was a rookie that year.
Mm-hmm.
He had just took over the position of quarterback. And I watched this kid really play good football. I haven't seen that Dak Prescott in a lot of years. And if you have, please give me the game, a playoff game that he actually showed up besides that game.
And I can't say that. So he's yet to do that. So well, I'll tell you what.
So how
Let's go back to his first playoff win against with Russell Wilson and the Seahawks. I think he played with some toughness that game. You know what I'm saying? He was doing some certain things. So that got to understand that he might be a pocket passer majority of the season, but he got to understand that when he was at Mississippi State, you know what I'm saying, he did nothing but run the ball. So he got to kind of go to it's situational sports. When in any sports, it's all situational. All that stuff, some things got to go out the window in certain times of the ball game. You got to just take over and do what you need to do. So that's kind of a mentality. Ability, he's elite. That's what I'm trying to tell you. So ability-wise, he's elite. Mentally, he's maybe not. Because he said Joe Burrow and Herbert and all these guys. So that's mental. That's tough. And they say, you know what? I'm gonna get my tail knocked out, but I got to make this throw. So that's all mental. You know what I'm saying? That could be corrected. Because all prosecutor got to do is blank out for a minute, for 2 minutes in the ball game when it really counts.
So
When it
what I
really,
want to
really
know
counts.
is beside the fact of Dak being in your family tree, why would you want to take him over Joe Burrow? That's what I want to know. How could it, if he wasn't your cousin?
I think he's more of an athlete. He has the experience. He plays
But
for the Dallas
said
Cowboys. He
you
plays for the
just said
Cowboys.
mentally, Joe Burrow and Justin Herbert are superior to Dak. You just said that.
I ain't said on Justin Herbert now.
You just said guys
Well,
like
no.
Herbert
No,
and guys like
I,
Joe Burrow. It's all about mental toughness. They
but
got that.
I was back and I was Rich said he gave an example. So I said, well, maybe why those guys do that in that moment because they have more of a mental toughness. They can blank out. Sometimes that
Exactly.
goes blank in those situations. That don't mean that they can't be corrected. That don't mean they can't be corrected now. Not saying he
You
can
know what's
sustain.
JJ, you wanna know what's funny? You wanna know what's funny?
Hmm.
The whole conversation is sort of being like Prescott, right?
Hmm.
You know why? Because that's the difference. See,
Different.
you're right. Dak Prescott is a better athlete than Joe Burrow. I'll give you that. And when you talk about athlete, I'm talking about running the
I
ball
wouldn't
out of the
even
pocket. But
necessarily
guess
say
what?
that, man.
Since
Joe.
Dak tore that ankle up, Ross ain't
Hey,
getting no credit.
Joe is an
He,
athlete, bro, for
Bro, he ain't
real.
getting no
he,
love.
Joe's a sneaky
Huh?
he
athlete, bro.
he's
He
a
can get out there
different type
pocket
of
on you.
he's a different type of athlete. But like I said, that Dak Dak is an athlete. I said we know what Dak can do. I don't see Joe Burrow goal line and diving like like Elway did it in the Super Bowl back in '97, '98. You know what I'm saying? That can he has that ability. I think I just think he's a better overall
The
athlete
only
than
thing that
Burrow.
I've seen Dak do better is that little hip dance he do in warm up. He probably
Well,
beat Joe Burrow doing that.
well, I tell you what, that's what he need to do. He need to simulate that in the ball game and get out of there. He got to
Okay.
get out of it. Got to flip them hips. You know what I'm
He does have very loose
So
hips. I give
what?
him that.
saying? Need to be on Dancing with the Stars then. Maybe he'll be Dancing with the Stars when he retire. I need a Super Bowl champ. I
you
ain't worried
know,
about no Dancing with the Stars.
you know what? You know what? Let's do this for you, for the record, and everybody who's watching this are gonna watch this later. For the record, okay? Justin Herbert, Patrick Mahomes, Jalen Hurts, um, Joe Burrow. Okay, all right. Let's just set them to the side. Okay.
Okay.
The reason why I say that is because even though Justin Herbert has not won a playoff game yet, and matter of fact, I'm going to go ahead and say one more name, Trevor Lawrence. Even though Trevor Lawrence, I'm sorry, Justin Herbert has not won a playoff game yet. He's only been to the playoffs once. Unfortunately, I mean, it's not his fault that they haven't been to a playoff game or won a playoff. That's not his fault. And I think that you guys, offensive coordinator, are going to make a difference with that. But I'm going to say this. I'm going to say this for the
Oh,
record. I hear a
hold it.
lot of Dallas fans, especially on social media, posting that. How many stats that guy? Stats that. Look, let me tell y'all something. First of all, stats can be padded. That's number one. Number two, I don't give a crap if he led the league in every single category when Drew Brees was in the league and the Saints and the game was on the line. And Drew got, but I'm gonna use this particular game. Let's talk about the Diggs catch, the miracle in the Meadowlands. Let's talk about that. In
Mm-hmm.
that game, Drew Brees, the go ahead touchdown had a 4th and 10. I never forget it. I looked at my wife and I said, "Watch Drew lace this." Now think about that. It's 4th and 10. The game's on the line. Drew comes up under the center, and I look at my wife and I say, "He finna lace this. You ain't got to worry about it. They going to get a first down." Now you tell me, do you have that kind of confidence in Dak Prescott on 4th and 10 faster? Haven't seen him do yet against the team when the game is on the line. Now, you can correct me and say, "Hey, I got a game for you. He did it in this game." Let me know, because that's the difference between those quarterbacks we just named and Dak. What he does when the game's on the line and all the marks, do he lace it? I mean, do he
That
can he
that that's not really. I don't. He's capable. His ability is, but that's not his game. That's not the team that he's on. It's not set up for that. It's set up for Dak Prescott to put up points early and manage the game late. That's
that's
what his
not elite,
job is.
brother.
To be
But
elite, you got to be able to do every aspect of that. You got to be able to come back. You got to be able to play from behind. You be
what
able to got to
what what
come back from
what
21
well
points down,
I'm saying
like Patrick Mahomes.
that's not his mo though. I'm saying now I'm saying he can do
But
it,
that's the MO
but
of a
that's not
great
his game.
quarterback, of an elite quarterback. That's the MO of an elite quarterback.
The
That's not
No,
what
that's
MO of an
defines
that,
elite
him elite.
quarterback is see what you're talking about is a game manager. And a
Exactly.
game manager normally is not elite. That's exactly
what
what they are. They're
if
game managers.
He's
if
Give
he
great
me
at
a
put
that.
lead and
He's
I'll
great
keep it
at
for you.
that. He's great at that.
if he put up 30 points within the first 3 quarters and just in a half in the last 6 minutes, he might go to a side attack in his mind. So guess what? They got to run the ball now. Now we really got to run the ball. That's when he may have to run the ball. You got to really manage the game, run that clock out because this 30 to 20 23. We can't get this thing up or 30 to 24. So in that situation, he's supposed to still step up and do what he needs to do. So that's when he take over. Ain't no more coaching going on. It's like we finna run these. We got these set of plays, these 10 plays we're gonna run in this situation. Everything got to be situational.
But he
I
hasn't
don't
shown
think he
that.
does that.
That is the whole point. He hasn't shown that so far.
He hadn't showed it.
Well, he has
Look,
it in him. I
look,
believe
you
he has
guys
it in
had
him
a
though.
third. Dallas had a 3rd and 28 in the Philadelphia game. I call it
Hmm.
the play that won the game for y'all, right?
Oh yeah.
That's the
See,
first
see
time
why
that I
hips.
ever seen.
Beautiful play.
That's the first time I ever seen Dak Prescott say, you know what? I'm gonna launch it and give my receiver a shot to come down with this ball. Now the reason I
Huh.
bring that up is because that's kind of play is what it takes to be elite. So let me just throw some things at you, and Ron, you can help me out with this one.
All right.
Okay, so Joe Burrow is playing against um give me a second. Baltimore Ravens in the playoffs. Baltimore is handing Cincinnati their ass. I mean, they were busting Cincinnati up, right? And Joe Burrow was their target. And I'm watching this kid with little experience because he really don't have a lot of experience. I'm watching this kid take this pounding and slowly, methodically moving them down the field, moving them down the field, moving them down the field. With I won't say with ease, I would say with poise, right? I've seen him in those situations. I've seen Josh Allen in those situations. I've seen Jalen Hurts in those situations. I have seen Patrick Mahomes in those situations. And I've seen Trevor Lawrence, who, by the way, grew up last year in the playoffs, and Justin Herbert. Dak Prescott with the game on the line, if I'm a betting man, if they would let me bet and it's fourth down, let's just say fourth down. Okay, fine. Let's say fourth down and 5, 4th and 6, and the game's on the line. If I was a betting man, I'm betting he won't get the first down. The reason why is because the 2 years ago against the 49ers, y'all had a very similar situation. But not to win the game, but it's definitely to stay in the game. It would have put you in a better position than what you was in when Dak was trying to drive down the field. And you
Mhm.
had a 3rd and 6, and I watched Dak Prescott literally freak out on a phantom rush. All he had to do was just open his eyes. He had his tight end on the left side of the field. He never even looked that way. As a matter of fact, he threw the ball and it should have been intercepted. See, you're defending Dak because he's a Dallas Cowboy quarterback. You like Dak Prescott. I get that. I don't dislike the kid. I don't have no problem with Dak Prescott. I have a problem with Dallas fans trying to make Dak Prescott elite. He's not. He's a game manager. He's a Kirk Cousins. That's what he is. And if
Ooh.
you give him a lead, you're right. This dude can play
So
football.
so
But
so
in
so
this
so you
game,
telling me?
in this time, you better be able to come back. Because let me tell you something. When I'm watching Mahomes and they
Uh-huh.
down by 10, 15, 20, 24, it doesn't matter. I'm not moving because I know it's coming. You see the difference? If you watching the game and Dallas is down by 24, believe me, y'all skipping from game to game because it's over. I mean, am I right, Ron?
Turn the
Am I
channel.
right?
It's over.
All right, so that's the past, like I said. So moving forward, so moving forward, like I said, let's just recap the last little leg of the season. You know, Dak got hurt last year, and Cooper Rush held it down, and Dak came back, and it was pretty good until we stunk it up. And what the game was, Jacksonville. Jacksonville, we had a bad game. Then we came back to Tennessee, had a pretty dominant performance. And the next game, we just stunk it up. Like I said, so those one of those games, those mental games for Dak and the whole team, because Dak is the leader. So as that goes, the team goes. So that was a whole mental breakdown against the Commanders. But like I said, we came back and got it back together against Tom Brady. So like I said, if Dak, uh, when he's playing elite, in my opinion, like I said, it's gonna be hard to beat the Dallas Cowboys. I don't care who you throw at us, it'll be hard. But when he's subpar, we have a great chance of losing. So like I said, you're right. He's the head, and like I said, he's the squad. He's the leader. He has to be right. We ain't talking about uh Cooks. We ain't talking about Cooks. And speaking of T.Y. Hilton, I will bring T.Y. Hilton back to camp. Bring him back to camp. Why not have 5 or 6 capable receivers that's all pro type? Why not have 3 or 4 running backs? You know what I'm saying? I'm all about that. See, I know it's business, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, you can get you a couple running backs for $2 million, like that combined. You can go get Dak Prescott, Ezekiel Elliott for $1 million, I believe. Come on, play
Ezekiel
10
want to play
games.
for
I
that.
want you to play 10 games. You would play for $1 million for 10 games?
No,
I
he wouldn't
would.
play for that. I'm sure you
He
would.
crazy.
I would
He
too.
crazy.
But not
But
Zeke.
but see, I guess the why it's kind of tough to be a football fan because it's a business. That's why I said I had to take my feelings out of it. I just be a fan. I said appreciate our past, like I said, but like I said, kind of I don't know what the
But
future
if you
holds for
would
the
have taken
Cowboys,
your
man.
feelings out of it, you wouldn't have preferred Dak Prescott over Joe Burrow. So you
No,
already know
no,
about
no,
your feelings.
no. I'm saying I just believe in Dak's ability. That's all. I believe his ability over any quarterback in the league. I say any quarterback in the league. I take Dak Prescott, but I say
Over
over any
everybody.
quarterback in the league.
Patrick
I'm taking
Mahomes, everybody, anybody. It don't matter.
all of them. I'm not saying he better, but I'm saying I'm rolling with Dak over any one of those quarterbacks.
Okay. I'm with you.
I ain't with it.
I I
I'm just saying I'm with his logic. I'm not with
I,
him on his decision. I'm just with
I
his
But,
t-
logic.
but Rod, you know what? I got to give him some props, though. I got to give him some love. Now, this is a true Dallas Cowboy fan. Where
You
did he
are
go?
absolutely right. That is a
Yeah,
true Dallas Cowboy fan.
he is. He's a true Dallas Cowboy fan. This is somebody who loves the Dallas Cowboys. So I
Yeah.
cannot take that away from him. But I am going to tell you this. I don't know if you follow this guy. As a guy, he's kind of big, and he has these reels and he does these videos about Dallas Cowboys, and he cries and he calls he plays like he calls the owner Jerry Jones, and he cries like, "What's wrong with y'all? I don't understand what's going on." He's hilarious to me, and no matter what's going on, this guy loves the freaking Dallas Cowboys. But let me say something to y'all and everybody who watching, Ron, and you get and JJ, I'm gonna give you a matter of fact. Before I end the show, JJ, let me ask you a question. Will you come back on the show mid-season?
End of the day, if we 0
Okay.
8, we still got something to play for. We can go win the next 9 games and make a wild card.
I don't think so,
I
Okay.
believe
but
I
that's a
believe,
Rod,
I
great
believe in my
spirit to have.
squad. I believe in my squad like that. But like I said,
go
I'm
ahead,
not
Rod.
banking on it though. I'm not banking on it. I ain't banking on it now. Like I said, my eyes
I
have
just
seen
I
the
just want
glory
to know if
days.
you'll come on. I
But I
just want to
said,
know if you'll come back on the show. Rod, go ahead.
but
I'm just looking forward to it. I predicted the Cowboys win 10 games. So I think the Cowboys are going to make the playoffs. So I don't think
I do
I don't think
too.
they're a terrible team. But most of that
They're not.
prediction is based on the fact that the NFC is so weak this year. I
that's good.
think they are one of the 7 best teams in the NFC, but I don't see them winning more than one playoff game if they win one.
Here's
Um,
here's what Ron. Here's what I'm gonna say about the Dallas Cowboys. Um, and I know people think I'm gonna say something just horrible. I'm not. The minute I can get the Dallas Cowboy fans to understand that Dak Prescott is just a game manager, you guys wouldn't get your hopes up so high. See, here's the deal. If Dallas can't run the football effectively, and the game is, and everybody knows this in the NFL. Every team that plays Dallas know this. If we stop the run, we probably can win the game. Now, a lot of people would say, well, you can say that for every team. No. Y'all remember those quarterbacks I just named? Stop their running game and they'll beat you in half. They don't have to have Dak Prescott because he's a game manager, has to have the running game. He absolutely have to be able to run the football. He needs play action, and that's why I say Kirk Cousins and Dak Prescott is in the same percentage. Now I'm gonna
They're
end
the
the show
same
with
guy.
this. So what now?
They're the same guy.
Nowhere near. Because one thing about how many
Now,
playoffs did Kirk Cousins have? How many wins do he have? Does he have any? He's not in his class. He's
I don't
not in
know.
Dak's class.
I
I
don't
just
think
call
he
He's
him
not in his
does.
class.
I'm just telling you the type of game that they have is the same.
Kirk
So,
Prescott. Kirk Prescott.
I'm-
That's what you call him. Kirk Prescott.
Look. I tell you what.
this dude say Kirk Prescott.
Kirk
They're the same
Cousins.
guy.
They are
are
not
the
on
same
the. They
guy.
are not on the
Come on.
same level.
Put their stats up against each other. They are the same guy.
It's
minus
Dak,
the hip days. Minus the hip days, they're the same guy.
Dak Prescott been a part of three divisional games. 3 divisional games in his career.
JJ, I am not saying Kirk Cousins is a bad quarterback. So
He ain't
that's
no
what when I say Kirk Cousins, I am not. It's not a knock on Dak.
They
I'm
both
telling you, they
have
have
two
the same
playoff
type
wins.
of game.
They both have 2 playoff wins.
I mean, that guy.
Kirk Cousins got a playoff win.
Come on, man. He broke my heart. He broke my heart when he was
Man,
Minnesota
come on, man.
with the Saints. So come on.
Yeah, that's
If
right.
the Dallas
He
Cowboys,
did.
Twice, as a matter of fact. Matter of fact, I think both his playoff wins came against the Saints.
now wait, the Minnesota Miracle, that was Case Keenum.
Yeah, it was.
Oh,
Case Keenum.
okay.
But the Kyle Rudolph game, that was Kirk Cousins.
That was Keenum. But that wasn't Kirk Cousins.
He's actually 1-3. He's actually 1-3.
Minnesota Vikings. The Minnesota Vikings and the Dallas Cowboys are about what and what when it comes to the type of quarterback play.
Kirk Prescott. Same.
I'm gonna tell y'all something. I begged Jerry Jones to go in the draft and find him somebody elite or trade for somebody that's elite. Because if Dallas Cowboys had an elite quarterback like I'm talking about, then Dallas would be a Super Bowl contender. But until that happens, Dallas is just a playoff contender. And I gotta agree with Rod on that. His kind of name is Kirk Prescott.
Well, I tell you this. One thing about it, that Prescott gonna be our quarterback for at least the next 3 seasons.
And y'all
At
gonna
the very least.
And every year y'all
gonna be not champions for the next 3 seasons.
Right.
That's what you say, Mr. Rod.
So JJ.
That's what you say.
JJ, listen, we love you. Thank you for coming on the show. You did
It's
an
all
awesome
in fun,
freaking
brother.
job.
We have a great time.
I mean, it's all in fun. Rod, you know what we do. Next week, I don't know if I got to talk to my next guest, but my next guest is a Dallas Cowboy fans, and he gonna bring it too. I mean, his name is Ryan. He has a show called Clutch Sports. You guys got to check it out. He's a Dallas Cowboy fan. He gonna come on here, and we're gonna do the same thing next week. But with that being said, man, appreciate you coming on the show. Rod, as usual. Y'all know what it is. This is Rich Cole. Let's talk sports. Peace.
Peace out. Peace out. We love it.
All right, y'all be good.
All right, brother.